If you want me to be dead serious, I'd have probably ended up killing somebody on purpose. We was all troubled kids because none of us had dads at home. And if I have no authority in my life, who's going to stop me?
Fantastic. Can you tell us your name and a little bit about yourself, please?
My name is Fitzgerald King. I was born in Jamaica, came to the UK when I was about 12 years old.
Who would you say was like your community hero?
And I wouldn't say I had a community hero, but I would say I had a father, if not a father figure in my life. And the reason why I would say that is because having heroes, you can get not just disappointed, but they disappear after a while. Having a father or someone like a father never disappears, because no matter how far a father is, he's still your father. So for me, Sydney was my father. He's somebody that took me under his wing and guided me up to the person I am today. And even when times was difficult and hard, because let's face it, you can tell I'm not quite an easy person to deal with. So even when things was difficult and hard, he was even more like a father to me by not giving up, by being there all the time, and by constantly pushing me and telling me not to give up, which it worked.
How did you guys meet?
I met Sydney by going to the youth club in Queens Road because after school, me and my friends never used to have anything to do after school, and I never wanted to go home. Home was boring. So we used to stay on this road and get up to no good. We used to trouble people things, take people things, set places on fire, just do things. We, like, as boy kids, we're very curious. So when there's a group of us and we're all curious and we see something, we're going to trouble it. And sometimes it might go wrong or sometimes it might go right. So having the youth centre to go to do more productive things than doing more wrong things was very good.
You remember why I came out to Birmingham to see you guys? Can you remember the reason?
I think at the time we was getting into a lot of trouble. I think a few of us, because there was a good few of us, I think 1, 2 of us was also getting arrested at the time. So at the time we was literally building a career that we in the future are not going to need. So we was literally doing stuff that could end us up or was bringing us down the wrong path. So yeah, at that time we needed somebody to intervene, but as kids, as teenagers, we're not going to ask for help because we don't even know the help that we need.
Mm-hmm. Did you know who Sid worked for? Do you know who brought him around to speak to you guys?
No. When we first met Sid, it was just, all right, here's the next guy coming to tell us what to do. Now, all right, cool, let's let him talk and then we'll just get on with it. But that's what we all had in our head. But meeting Sid, it was quite different from the other youth workers. It was very different to the point where we actually take to him, because there was a lot of youth workers in the youth club, but we didn't really take to all of them. We mostly took to Sid. We mostly spoke to Sid. We had a problem, we went to Sid. We always go to Sid. If we went to somebody else, it would be because Sid sent us to somebody else. But yeah.
We'd worked with youth offending team. They're like, oh, we're going to send you to Birmingham. I met Sid off the train and came down to that youth club. And as I came in, there'd been a problem. Something had happened. There'd been a kick-off. And you guys were not happy. And the youth worker there was going, look, I mean, no disrespect to anyone. And it calmed you guys down.
There was a lot of us. And we was all troubled kids. Like, literally, we was all troubled kids because none of us had dads at home. So none of us had authorities in our life. And having a child without authority is like having a dog without training. It's a recipe for disaster. Something's going to happen. And if I have no authority in my life, who's going to stop me?
And so do you think Sid became that authority?
Yeah, he became the authority in our life to the point where he could talk to us and we would listen. And there's not a lot of people that, like, the police can't tell us what to do. So if the police can't tell us what to do, that should show you. But then you've got a man that's not a police officer, it's not in a authority of us or anything like that. He's a normal guy, but we'll listen to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some kind of authority there from him, and you would have to say it's kind of a special bond type of thing as well, because like I said, there was more than one youth workers there. There were more than one youth workers that was a male there, but we didn't take to the rest of them like that.
Yeah.
We took to Sid. I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was, but that's why I had to say it has to be some kind of special thing there, because we didn't take to everybody else. We spoke to them, we knew them, we had respect for them, but it would have been really quick for us to disrespect any of the youth workers than Sid. We wouldn't disrespect Sid.
Yeah.
Even now, I wouldn't.
Why do you think that you were able to grab the boys' respect? I think I know, but I'm just interested in your in your.
I think one of the things I grew up similar in a community where, how do I put it? It's just mayhem. Growing up in my community was mayhem. And I just promised myself, if I was to grow up, I gotta go and give back something. But one of the things why maybe they took to me, I was scared. I never was ever scared. And most of the other youth workers, I will tell you this, they were scared.
Yeah, because a lot of the youth workers, when we do things of like things that we shouldn't do, like a lot of the youth workers, they would try to tell us to stop, or they would try to fix what we're doing, but we wouldn't listen to them. And sometimes we would even get aggressive with them. And because we're teenagers, we get aggressive with you. If you try to get aggressive with us, it's just going to infuel us even more, because we're young, we're unruly, we've got no authority over us. So any adult that's trying to talk down to us, like, we don't even listen to our mums at home. So who are you? Type of thing. Do you understand? So it would have just escalated. But it's knowing, it's the know-how in it. It's the experience. It's been there before. If you've been there, you've kind of lived the life, or you've lived the life, then you'll be able to more relate with somebody. You'll be able to understand. You won't be able to tell them exactly what they're going through, but you'll be able to understand a little bit more. You'll be able to know what answers to give to that person, how to talk to that person. But if you don't have a clue what that person is going through, if you don't have a clue how that person is live, if you've never experienced it, then how can you even relate? In life, you have to sort of be a chameleon. You have to know how to fit in. You have to know how to fit into any environment at any given time. You have to know how to talk to anyone. So whether the person is on the street, roadman as you call them, or an office man, you have to know how to switch and talk to them, any people in any type of environment. And once you can do that, that's already 50% there with communicating with somebody, because it doesn't matter how angry I am or how big or aggressive I am. If you approach me the right way, you will never know that I can be that beast that people think I am. It's like, why does a lot of guys, when they're angry and they're mad, why is it a lot of guys will take more to a female when she approach than a male when he approaches? It's not because he's a male. It's not because it's how. It's how. It's like in life, a woman is meant to teach a child how to love and how to care. And that comes out of her naturally, because she's naturally meant to do that. So when a guy is naturally angry, and a female and a lady, a woman can see that her natural approach is naturally soft. She's naturally a soft being in the first place. So her approach, her mannerism, everything's soft. It's more to calm a guy down. Now, when you have a man that can do the same and manipulate a situation like that, you're there. So if you have somebody that can manipulate any situation like that, doesn't matter what you see outside, doesn't matter where you are, you can adjust yourself to fit in. You can adjust yourself to talk to that person. Understand? And once you can do that, then you're there. You're there. You can talk to people, you can communicate with people, then you're there. That's what you really need in life to be successful at anything.
How did you relate with your friends when we came? Did you talk about us, how we related to you? Did you guys discuss the youth workers and how they related to you?
It wasn't like we had a conference meeting or anything like that. What it was we're all doing our own thing. We all take to separate things. Some guys might take to playing pool. Somebody might take to playing cards. Somebody might just take to just having a chilling spot, just a spot to chill, not being bothered by officers. So when the youth centre was over now, like we'll all meet up outside. But the only time like any of the youth workers would come up to us in a conversation is like when we really needed help. So it's that if there's 6 of us here that goes to the youth club and we're all sitting here, and it's rare for friends to say, oh, I'm homeless, I need some help. It's rare because you don't really want your friends to look at you like you don't got nothing or anything like that. But when somebody's problem does come out and it's a bigger problem than any one of us teenage can manage, somebody will say, raw, why don't you ask somebody in the youth centre? And then the person will be like, but who am I going to ask? Well, ask Sid, innit? Like, he's always there talking to us. He's always coming to us. Ask Sid. So it will always be the person that not even take to, because at the time we just start going there. So it will always be the person that's the most friendly that we would ask. Like as a teenager, you don't even ask anyone in the first place that you don't know. So it will always be the most friendly person, the person that came across like the most caring. And if you realize in a lot of youth clubs, when you have majority of the kids take to somebody, it's normally a female, because the caringness, you understand? And like I said, Sydney, I don't know how, but he showed us that he cared. So we talked to him because there was females there, but we never take to them like that. We took to Sid.
It's just really clear that he loved you guys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's love, isn't it? It's like when it comes down to it.
It's like I said, when you really care about something, it's like a job. You have a job that you don't really want to do. You'll get it done, but are you going to do overtime? No. You don't really want to do it. You just want to do enough to pay your bills, get your rent money, buy some clothes. So you will never do overtime. For what? You don't even like the job. You're just doing it to get along. But if you have a job that you like, something that you wanted to do, and you're doing it, they won't even have to ask you to do overtime. You're probably staying over just doing your work and don't even realize you're staying over. Like, it's like that. Once you like something and you like doing what you do, you'll get the best from it. And Sid likes doing what he does, so he's learnt to how to communicate with us because it's what he wants to do. It's what he likes to do. So he's going to pick up the skills to do what he wants to do in life.
What do you know about Sid's background? Do you know, like, anything of the difficulties he faced when he first came to London and whatnot?
I'm going to be honest with you. Asking me that question, to be honest with you, no. And I would say to you, thinking about it now, that is quite selfish. It's quite selfish that I've had somebody like Sid all in my life for a very long time, and he's helped me so much, but I've never actually took the time to then ask him, like, Ra, how have you grown up? What was it like for you? So even sitting here now, you ask him that question, I think that was quite selfish of me to not even find out about the person that's helped me so much in my life, what's happened with them.
I don't think it's selfish. That's the way that this relationship works, or his relationship. It is for him to help you. And
But I'm now at the age, as I said, I'm 35 years old. So I'm now at the age, I'm a grown man. I'm now at the age I can then look at somebody that used to help me and do ask them that question.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing this. Do you know what I mean? This is why we're doing this, so we can have these conversations. So
sometimes it is what it is. You have to talk about something to realise it. Because sometimes if you don't talk about something, you don't even realise where you're going wrong.
Definitely. What do you know about the Windrush generation as a whole? Like, if I said to you the Windrush generation...
All I know when you say the Windrush is that a bunch of people the English government took from their country, or I wouldn't even say take from their country, bribe. I would definitely use the word bribe and con them from their country to come to this country to then build it up and promise them that they'll be able to stay and all the promises they get. But then in the long run, when you got your buildings, you got everything that you need, in the long run, now you're saying, well, they helped us then, but we don't need them now. So their generations don't really need to be here. And that's how I kind of see it in this country.
Yeah, the Windrush generation helped rebuild the country after World War II, didn't they? Yeah. Was it 48, the Windrush?
Mm-hmm. Do you see any development, say, in the community in respect of network like us. We don't use.
That question is I have a very deep answer for that question. Keeping young kids, whether it's a little boy or a little girl, out of jail, out of crime, it's a bigger problem than what the youth club can handle. You have to understand this. If you've got a garden and you've got flowers in your gardens that you actually like, you're going to get weeds whether you like it or not, right? Cool. When you get these weeds and these stinging nettles, if you cut the leaf off, the tree still grows. You cut the leaf off again, it still grows. You cut that leaf, it's still growing. The stinging nettles are still going to grow. The weeds are still going to grow. You're only cutting the leaves off. You're only cutting the top off. The root's still there. It's never going to stop growing. So ask yourself this question. How much years has there been youth clubs? How much years have they been out? But there's still kids going to jail. So it's like a weed, isn't it? You cut the leaf off, but the weed's still growing. So you put more youth clubs out there, but the youths are still going to jail. So what's the problem? The problem is not really youth clubs. That's not really the issue. You need to go past the youth clubs. You need to go past the youths being on the streets. You need to go to the house. That's the problem. You need to get to the root. The root is not the leaf. You have to get to the root of the problem. And 9 out of 10 times, the root of the problem is at home. That's where it all starts from.
Like your generation, right? You had youth club.
Yeah.
You had someone like Sid, who was paid to literally go out. He's part of the detached team to go out and engage with you young people. They had people like me, paid me to come in and make movies. They had music producers come in and make music with you. Sports facilities. All that's been wiped out. I mean, by 20, when did you be made redundant, Sid?
15.
You see, sometimes you have to make it look like you care about something, even when you don't. So if it means putting a little change over there, that's not going to hurt your pocket. Who cares? It's not going to hurt your pocket, but it's going to make you look good. And then, after a while, you can just cut that off because you can say, well, I did care about it. I put that there to try and help them, but there hasn't been no positive result from it, or that I want anyway, so I can just cut it off now. You didn't really care in the first place.
So our first ever project was in Rotherhithe.
It was a Rotherhithe.
Right, so we did a project in Rotherhithe and then they moved us across to Brimington and to Damlow Taylor Centre.
Yeah.
The copper who came to our screen and said that crime, when we were running our project, had been reduced by 76%.
Yeah, because the kids wasn't on the street. They was in a building. But when you take away the youth clubs, then where does the youths go to chill?
Now you're talking.
Majority of kids don't stay at home these days. Even after school, there's nothing at home to do. Majority of moms, they're not rich, so they can't give their kids everything they need. Now, when you have a funded organization that has PlayStations there, it's got Xbox there, it's got a pool table there, it's got football there, it's got basketball there. These are things that most moms can't afford to either put their kid into a football, like buy them a PlayStation. They can't afford it because they're already paying rent, they're already having a small job, they're already doing these things, so they can't afford that. So you have an organization that can then provide that for that child. You're even then increasing that child having a more positive future, because that child could be a future footballer, for example, but his mom can't put him in football, so he never gets to feed that talent. He never gets to work on that talent. So you never see his true talent. So now he's on the road, smoking weed, doing that. You never see his talent. But i.e., there's a youth club there that offers football. He comes, there's a youth worker that's going to sit down, let him play football, and they'll see his talent. And they'll say to him, "Raw, do you want to play a bit better? Do you want us to try to help you get into a team? We can contact your mom. We can help her to do this." And sometimes the parents don't know what to do. Their child might say, "Yeah, I want to play football. I want to play basketball. I want to go into boxing." But the mom don't know how to do it because that mom never had a parent to do that for her. So now she's a parent herself. She don't know how to do it. And a lot of people don't have the mindset to get up and go there to do something like that, especially when they have other stresses in life, like the bills, how to feed their child, how to find clothes, like all of these things are stress, like that can cause proper mental health, that can cause somebody to shut down. And then when you cause a parent to shut down, the child then suffer. Because the parent shuts down, the child can't go to the parent for nothing because now everything the parent asks the child for, it comes out in aggression, it comes out in anger because of frustration, even they don't mean to do it. So now that child turns away from that parent because of that frustration and then goes on the road and no, he can't ask his mom for nothing, can't ask her mom for nothing. So they go and steal, they go and follow friends, which if there's an organization that offer the things that this child needs to feed their talent or even to help them to build a talent, it will be there. And then that child will have more of a future. And this is why youth workers are needed, because there's parents there that literally their mindset, and I wouldn't say weak, I would say because stress is a very big thing. So there's parents out there that actually struggle with stress, like with severe anxiety and all these things that can cause them to shut down. Like the mind is a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. You use your mind to do everything, move your fingers, move your toes. So when your mind shuts down, your whole body shuts down. What do you then do?
Where do you think you guys could have ended up without intervention from people like Sid?
If you want me to be dead serious, I'd have probably ended up killing somebody on purpose. And I'm being dead serious. Like, it wasn't a joke. I was doing things, like real serious things that I shouldn't do. And I was so broken. I was such an angry child. Like, I never had money. I never had clothes to change. I never had a lot of things. I stole clothes. I stole shoes. I stole everything. And it made me so angry. It got me so angry with human beings in general. I got to the point where I didn't like human beings. I just didn't like human beings anymore. I just really couldn't stand them. I couldn't take to them. It got to the point where if a human being talked to me, I would get so angry, I would want to punch you in the face. I didn't want no one human being to talk to me. I didn't like human beings. I got to the points where I started buying animals. I literally started buying animals. At one point, I had 50 snakes in my house. Wow. Yeah, I had snakes, I had dogs, I had tarantula, I had birds, you name it, I had it. I didn't like human beings no more. I hated human beings because of the life I was living.
Let's say a young person commits a crime. It costs £100,000 just to get that young person to court and convicted, right? That's not adding in how much it costs to put them in prison, to feed them and all that sort of stuff, right? So let's say just that one thing you're talking about there, that's a serious crime.
But you're missing one thing. I'm worth more money in prison.
How do you mean?
To the government, I'm worth more money in prison. They get more money for me being in prison than they get for me to be on road. When I'm out here, what does the government get for me? Nothing. The government probably have to give me money. I'm in prison. They get money for me.
You cost money. You cost the public purse. A person in prison or a person going...
Stop right there and then. Hold on. Didn't Prince Charles the other day use how much money for a painting? Where did the money come from? The public. So what do you mean? They're out there using money to do whatever they feel like to do. And I'm not talking about thousands. I'm talking about millions. Yeah. That was a painting of a man that cost how much million? And they told you on the news, where did the money come from? The public. So am I not part of the public? So basically his painting came from my pocket too. So why can't I do something and they pay for it?
My point is this, is it costs very little to get a youth club on the go, to get someone like Sydney come along. How much money from one person's crime does that save? And yet they've got rid of youth clubs. They've made Sydney redundant.
There's no profit having youth clubs to the government. What's the profit in it?
Well, it actually would save them money.
It's not saving them money. It's making them more money. Me being in prison makes them more money than me being out of prison.
But it costs them money as well to have.
Yeah, that's what you think. All right. The government, me being in prison, right? The government is paying somebody to keep me in prison, right? Who they paying?
I don't know.
The next government body. The government is paying the next government body to keep me in prison. So where's the money going back to? The government. They make more money to keep me in jail than they make. Because when I'm out here, no one ain't paying nobody for me. In there, they're paying each other to keep me in there. Yeah. And where's the money coming from that they're paying to keep me in there? The public, not their pocket. Yeah. So they make more money of me being in jail than being out here. So all right. I'll show you how deep it goes. What's the best way to keep any child out of jail?
Education, engagement.
Wrong.
Go on.
Father figure. Authority. That's it. That's all you need. But then again, if a man and a woman goes to court and they both have the same job, they both have everything, there's like a 70% chance that the lady's going to walk out of court with full custody of a child. When a man, and even if they have the same job, same everything, they go to court for custody of the child, there's a 70% chance she's going to walk out with that child. This is why no man wants to go to court to try to fight for a child. You rarely get the guys that wants to do it because they know there's a chance that she's going to walk out with that child. Now, why is that? When the government, the same people that pays for you to be in jail, the same people that puts you in jail, they've done their statistics where they put on the internet for you to see, where they told you that a child that's grown by mom and dad has like an 80, 75% chance of being successful. And now watch this. A child that's grown by mom only has way less chance of being successful. Now watch this. A child that's grown by dad only has the same percentage of chance of being successful as a child that's grown by mom and dad. It's there. They put it out there for you to see it.